7 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock, and we just taking it there, tick it, and taka. Anyway, a whole lot of fight be happen for that particular place, and I don't go lie at all on Friday. Night that one big tech, I don't know small thing coming through there. Efe Ajagba, facing the Martins Bakole on that particular fight. Not really that easy at all. Despite the expectations of the fans, don't be waiting to see. I'm not gonna lie for you now. If everybody didn't get an expectation, man. Martins Bakole, I could just beat the scatter everywhere. I know go really that easy for the Nigerian Efe Ajagba. And some other persons will be say they already know and just have it in their own mind that man, see, no matter what it is, if Ajagba go make sure say it go deliver like a Hebrew woman, but that one's still there. The match will come out to be draw. For the both fight there on Friday. All right, after 10 bouts there for that particular match, all right, the judge's decision, we go for the side of draw. But anyway, sharply is what we just got to go straight because still have some other fight coming up, because by next week Friday, we still have another big fight coming up. I'm not joking, like a very serious fight coming up there. Talking about Johnny Fisher, taking it to the rematch there. That's the rematch. Against David Allen. And the first one, the match, the fight was like, man, a whole lot of persons, they're like saying the slight decisions by the judges was really not cool because based on what I see at that particular day, say nothing person go to anybody, say the big man there, Dave Allen, supposed to that one they go, but still that the referees take their own way to take carry and they give the big man there, Wavy, Johnny Fisher. All right, anyway, we just go straight there to get in the big man there. Let's get in boxing. To make sure the boxing did the work at the inter for these our side wielders. So let's go in. Let's just connect to the big man there. Ebro, we'll just talk about a person from boxing there from UK United Kingdom. All right, hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening to you, Ebro.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing today? You okay?
I'm very fine. I'm doing well. So, how is the weather there in UK?
The weather is good. It's very warm as well, so it's good.
Oh.
We're enjoying the summer this time.
All right. Anyway, so let's just go straight to what we have today because we have a whole lot of topics to discuss today, a whole lot of things to talk about. But first, we'll go for the first one there, the big match there coming from Efe Ajagba and Martins Bakole. And of course, last week you actually say, despite Efe Ajagba being one of us, one of ours here in Nigeria, but you still have to root for Martins Bakole, the Congolese big man there in African boxing, but Martins have a whole lot of experience. All of that you said, reasons why you see it from your own perspective that Martins really going to get Efe down or a victory for that particular match, but it's not really well. We now see. So, how do you see the match? How do you see that particular fight?
Well, it wasn't a good match. It wasn't a good fight. Why? I was expecting fireworks. Because these are two guys, that, they throw big punches. They're strong, and, they have, bombs on their faces.
All right.
So I was expecting, fireworks, but that didn't happen. Why? Efe Ajagba, knowing that, Bakole is the bigger guy, he's faster, he throws combinations, he boxed on the back foot. Which is a good, game plan. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Boxing, you go in, with a game plan that suits your boxer. He boxed on the back foot. He picked his shots, and he boxed well. Yes, a boring fight, but he boxed well, to get the draw.
All right. Anyway, do you ever expect Efe Ajagba to get a draw? A draw of 5 there against Martins Bakole. Do you ever have such thing in your mind? Hello.
Like if he's one of us, and I should be rooting for a Nigerian brother. However, I kind of tilted towards Bakole. Simply because I felt, he was, he's a better boxer. He's boxed, better guys. And I was surprised, that if he actually, got a draw. In my humble opinion in that fight, he won that fight. Because he picked his shots. He landed, the clear eye-catching shots. He boxed on the back foot. He threw the 1-2s, and he landed them well. I was shocked that, the referees and, judges, gave that fight a draw. But a big achievement for Efe Ajagba, we didn't see that, coming. I actually thought that, Bakole was going to knock him out. He almost did. I think around 4th, 7th, and 8th round.
Yeah.
He almost, knocked him out. But, if he's quite strong as well, he's got a strong chin, he didn't go down, but, almost did.
Okay, almost did. I like that. That shows how strong we are, Nigerians. All right. Anyway, another thing is, some persons were actually saying, because we're expecting a win in that particular match between Efe Ajagba and Martins Bakole, because we are still expecting a rematch there between Martins and the Big Joe. That's Joseph Parker. But now we're having a draw. So can that still happen? A rematch there coming from between Joe Parker and Martins Bakole, since Martins couldn't get Efe down or even get a win against Efe Ajagba.
Now is that Turkey Al Sheikh, the Saudi man.
Yeah, the prince.
The Saudi cash man who pays for these fights, who puts all these fights, together.
Yeah.
He actually likes Martin Bakole, and he wants him to do well. I see him, arranging a rematch between Bakole and Parker for, for eliminator, for the IBF, world title. I see that, happening.
Okay.
But, Efe, on his own side, was also, calling for a rematch. Because, like I said earlier, he won that fight, in my humble opinion. He threw the clear eye-catching shots.
Yeah.
And, there's nothing wrong in boxing on the back foot. If that's your game plan,
okay,
if that's going to work for you, nothing wrong, with it. But, to answer your question, I see Turkey Al Sheikh, arranging a rematch between Bakole and Parker, which, in my opinion, is going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
There will be firework because Parker is a seasoned heavyweight boxer.
Yeah.
He's got a good trainer as well, and it's going to be a good fight, in my opinion.
All right. Anyway, now the last question, that at least coming out from this particular fight, do you really think, in your own opinion, between Efe Ajagba and Martin Bakole, who actually had the best fight between the two of them? Who you think actually had a better fight, a better jabs there, good punches, good point there, coming from your own side?
Efe Ajagba, had a better, fights. Why? Nobody expected him, to do what he did. He landed good shots. We, most people expected, Bakole to knock him out. But, Bakole, came in, heavy, almost 150 kilo, which is quite big. He couldn't move. He struggled, to move his legs.
Yeah.
Because of the weight. And Efe, came in 108 kilos. And, he was able to move. I didn't, I've got to be honest, with you. I didn't expect him, to box the way he did. In my opinion, he boxed, very well. He actually, came out of that fight, the better opponent, in my opinion.
Okay. Anyway, this part I didn't see very good audience there. People really didn't come out like having a big fight there from the big blacks. But still at that, we still have to take. But now let's just go down to Nigerian boxing. Yeah, let's just go down to Nigerian boxing. So here we just have to talk about Nigerian boxers. So I think we'll have about two top boxers recently here in Nigeria. Talking about Tope and Ajagba. So now, between these two, which we are actually expecting a rematch. The first fight we had there, Ajagba with a slight, win there from the judges, which was against Tope. But there's why some persons were like saying, no, Tope really had a good fight. But despite that, they are supposed to give Tope that particular one because of the good position he took there. The punches was really, really nice. But still that, Ajagba took that particular victory coming from the side of the judges via slight decisions. So, do you ever expect a rematch between these two big dogs in Nigerian boxing?
Yes, I'll tell you this. These are the two big featherweights in Nigeria, boxing. I used to manage Tope Musa. I actually took him to pros from amateur, and I arranged almost his 14, 15 fights. I put that together for him. He's a good boxer. That fight, if it happens again in Lagos, it's going to be one of the biggest fights in Nigeria. But the problem is, are they able to sell tickets to meet their demands on that fight? Because both of them are very, very good, and from the first time before in 2018 till now, they've improved loads a lot, and it's a fight I want to see again. Because I know there'll be fireworks in that fight, and I know for sure someone is going down in that fight as well.
All right. Anyway, checking the profile there from Ajagba and Tope, you see that Tope haven't actually lost any match, any fight at all, except the one he had taken it off with Ajagba. That's the only match he lost. But still at that, losing that particular match, with the decisions of the judges. Do you think maybe Tope now on this particular match will take Ajagba down, or that's you don't see that being possible because via the statistics, Ajagba have more experience. To me, I'm saying Ajagba have more experience than Tope. Do you think?
Well, there are two different boxers. Ajagba is a brawler. A brawler is a boxer that comes forward and throws so many punches. Tope is a boxer. He boxes. Well, I can't say what's going to happen on the day, because it depends on their game plan. It depends on who wants it more. It depends on who's fit up on the day. It depends on who's got the most heart on the day. And all these things are put together, will determine who's going to win, either by a knockout. Two good boxers who was improved a lot from the time they fought the first time in 2018 till now. And I'm sure, whenever they fight again, there'll be fireworks.
All right. Okay, so for this particular match, this fight coming up between Tope and Ajagba, and the first one, I think that was in Lagos, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I think that was in Lagos. So now the first one, which the attendance was, the attendance was very, very nice. People actually came out, to support both Tope and Ajagba. But now, where do you really think it should be the best location for this particular rematch? To get everything to be balanced.
Ajagba, his full name is Taiwo Agbaje.
Yeah, Taiwo Agbaje.
He's from Mushi. He's got a good crowd behind him.
Yeah.
Whenever he fights, he has a lot of following. Tobe has following, but not as much as a Shebo. But like what they should do is, like I keep saying, our boxers should be able to sell tickets. They should be responsible, for the amount of tickets sold. Why? That's the way to become more popular, to become more famous. They've got to be responsible anytime they fight to sell, tickets. So to answer your question, that fight, in my opinion, should be done in Lagos. Why? Because Eshebo has a lot of following in Lagos.
Okay. All right, so you see Lagos to be the best place for that part. But the first one still there was in Lagos too.
Yeah, but they were starting off then, so they weren't as popular and, as they are now. So if this fight happens again, I believe that, they should be able to sell more tickets, attract a lot of people, into that fight. Yeah. That's, what I believe that will happen in that fight if, the fight, happens again. But they should be responsible, at least, for ticket sales.
Okay. Anyway, that's so beautiful. We just have a few minutes left, and all right, we just have this. I just want to know, about the next fight coming up. That's next week. That's between Johnny Fisher and that is the big man, David Allen. All right. So you just have to get ready for us. So we'll talk about that particular fight, and I just hope you follow up also. And thanks so very much, Pro, for that for being with us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time and have a nice weekend.
All right, thank you very much. Anyway, our people of Enyimba, thank you very much, Ipo. All right, people of Enyimba City, that's just what it is. And I think that was a very nice one. One day. I don't go lie for you at all. You see, Niger boys doing so very well. In the world of boxing, all across Europe, because I believe that one. I believe in me well. So we're just hoping to see that particular big fight between the big man there, T-Rock, that's Tope, and Sekbo. Yes, that is Tony Agbaja. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you very much for just being with us today for another episode of The Big Ring. And of course, The Big Ring brought to you by Pro Boxing Academy. All right, enjoy yourself, and coming as is the men's cave. My name is Jack Bogard. Come on more. Then we're best of friends. All we just gotta do is get you entertainment all round. We gotta go for the inside you. We'll go inside football, we'll go into boxing, for boxing lovers. All right, enjoy yourself. Yes, so coach, I say, now this tease me that.
Yo. What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your favorite boy, Charles Okocha, a.k.a. Mr. Phenomenal.